Hello and welcome to What Are You Teaching My Kids? My name is Mike May. I'm the pastor of Lamb of God Lutheran Church, and we are one of the four churches that support Zion Lutheran School. And that's kind of the source of this whole series. The pastors, the other three pastors, and I spend a lot of time on campus teaching in different ways. We have chapel every single Wednesday, and we're teaching there through little sermons. We also have these things called devotions where we're in the class teaching about religion and going back and forth, answering kids' questions. And that happens every single week. And it goes different times for different ages. I teach 4th, 5th, and 6th, and 7th. Changes every year. Sorry, I guess I should have known that off the top of my head. I spend about 30 minutes every single week with your kids. And if there's one thing that I have learned about the Zion Lutheran School families, it's that you care. You care about your kids' education, you care about what they learn. And that is why I was hoping to answer this question. What on earth are you teaching my kids? So to start off, I guess it's important that you know that Zion Lutheran School is a LCMS school, Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. And if you know what that means, there's probably a pretty good chance you were either raised or you have gone to an LCMS church. And if that's the case, you probably already know what it is we believe, what we practice, and maybe you're just watching this to check up on me. And that's okay. That's okay. But that's a small percentage of the families. Most of them aren't LCMS. There's all sorts of different denominations. You may be one of those, or a non-denominational Christian family. And if that's the case, then you probably are aware that, Christian denominations, under the big umbrella of we're all Christian, but we believe slightly different things, we're just kind of all over the place on really divisive issues too. Homosexuality and abortion and politics and vaccines, you name it. If there's a divisive issue, you have people who are Christians on really one extreme or the other. And that's where we come back to this question again. What are you teaching my kids? Where are your values? But there's still other families at the school who don't have any Christian background at all. And I've spoken with some of them, and some of their concerns are that, they want their kids to be safe, certainly, and they are. But they also are attracted lots of times to the values at Zion Lutheran School. At least some of the values, and I wonder if they know what all of the values are. And then once again, here we are at what are your values? And then, what do you teach from there? I wanted to say one thing kind of up front, and that is that if you are a family that doesn't have a Christian background, or if you are not a Christian at all, if you say, that's not for me, or if your kids aren't interested in Christianity, I'd just like to say that I respect that. And the purpose of this video is not to argue with you or change your mind. And the purpose of me teaching at the school really isn't to do those things either. I believe that God created us with free will. And what that means to me is that we have the ability, God's given us the ability to say no to Him. He doesn't force anybody to worship Him. And that means that if He is going to respect our right, our ability, give us that right to say, no, thank you, then I have to respect that right in other people as well. And that's just what I intend to do. That being said, though, it is a goal of mine, both in the class and really in these videos as well, that everybody who says either yes or no is saying yes or no to what Christianity actually is. When I came out here to the Pacific Northwest, you may or may not be aware, the Pacific Northwest leads the country in what are called nuns. Not N-U-N-S, but N-O-N-E-S. So on surveys, on censuses, they check no religious preference at all in greater frequency out here than they do anywhere else. And so as I was heading this way, people told me, there's going to be people who've never heard of Jesus before. Well, that's not true. Everybody in the United States has heard of Jesus, but we've heard all kinds of different things. You may hear on your way into Safeco somebody with a bullhorn shouting at you that you're going to burn in hell. So you're hearing about Jesus there. You hear things or see things on TV, in film, all over the place. Christians are portrayed in one way or another. And you may have even known a Christian or a bunch who took some aspect of Christianity and made it the main thing. And that can really make what Christianity is actually about not very accurate. So my goal in teaching people about Christianity and in explaining what the main thing is that whether you decide, no thank you, not for me, or whether you say, yes, this is very attractive, you're actually addressing real Christianity, not a caricature of that. And that's what this is about. The real core, the main thing. See, none of us can, without like an infinite series of these videos, explain every single thing that goes on in chapel, because that changes week to week, or in our devotions where we're in the classrooms, because that changes minute to minute, second to second. You get bombarded with questions all the time and the topics change. So the goal here is to really teach the core belief, what we're really about, and you can kind of extrapolate from there. Now, originally, the plan was, and we did, to have 3 different nights where we taught 3 different lessons, about 15 minutes each, and then afterwards we would have a Q&A session where people could come at us with whatever questions they had, and we would answer them as best we could. So that won't work, obviously, with a video like this. So if you are coming to these videos with some burning questions and they don't get answered through the course of the 3 following videos, or if you watch these and they make more questions appear in your mind, then what I'd like to encourage you to do is contact me or one of the other 3 pastors, and we would be happy to talk to you about whatever. We're on campus a lot, so if you want to drop by there, chances are you will run into one or more of us on a Wednesday for chapel. I'm there all the time. And we all have cell phones. I answer my cell phone a lot. If you leave a message, I always get back to you. But we're happy to talk to you about your kids, about whatever questions, again, you may have about where we're coming from, what we believe, and then what are we teaching your kids. And I suppose even if you want to just talk about what the Seahawks' chances are in the playoffs this year. Not looking good right now, but that may change. Who knows? The last thing I wanted to say was basically thank you. If you've ever done anything like this, you make a video and you never know if anybody's going to watch it at all. It's like throwing a party and you don't know if anybody's going to show up. Well, thank you for showing up. It's what makes all this worthwhile for us. God bless your day.